Good evening. Sean's giving me the thumbs up. That's always the way. Good evening. Welcome to the PinkUn Show, our dedicated Canaries shenanigans that has failed to take its chances for more than 4 years. I'm Michael Bailey. Thanks, Dave. Thanks. I'm Michael Bailey. We're here at the Woolpack Public House in the centre of Norwich. We are live, and over the next 30 minutes or so, we will wrap up last night's action at Bournemouth. Remember the good times with victory over Brentford. Pray for a change come Saturday in Sheffield, and deal with every Norwich City talking point in between. That is a bold statement, but we'll try and do it. We will do this all in the company of a pair fresh from the fresh air of the south coast, minus the sewage works on the way into Bournemouth. That is my fellow Norwich City correspondent at the Eastern Daily Press, also known as the metrosexual Alan Partridge, Dave Freezer, so we got that one in. Oh, no. And proud Canaries' very own Di Cunningham. Great to have you both on, especially you, Dave, at short notice and after a long, long day. How are we all? How are we doing, Di?
Yeah, good. Very bracing this morning.
Did you go for a walk along the coast?
I did. It was lovely. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, past the urban surf shack.
Oh.
Yeah. Nobody was surfing though.
No. Oh, wow. Shame. Missed opportunity. Dave, we weren't walking along the coast where we were tucking into breakfast.
We didn't really take in any sea air, did we? We should have done that.
It's just a full English.
Yeah, full English on the way, crack on with a bit of work in the car, that sort of vibe. But yeah, that sewage works is a real welcome to Bournemouth, isn't it?
It's very, very true. Right, well, we are live on PinkUn.com and the PinkUn Facebook page, which I'm trying to just get right on my phone. There we go, that's all good. We want to hear from you over the course of the next 30 minutes or so, be it on Brentford, Bournemouth, Paul Lambert. Yes, that happened since we did a show. But especially, who would you shoehorn into City's starting 11 at Hillsborough now City's Carabao Cup run is over? And perhaps more importantly, who would you sacrifice for the change? You can get all those through to us here in the pub. Simply post your words below the live feed on the PinkUn Facebook page feed. That bit is quite important, that it's the PinkUn page. And they will ping right through to my phone as they are now. Sarah Riches has shared it with Gary Riches. I don't know if they're in the background, but hello, Sarah and Gary. Mel Bogan has put a nice heart-eyed emoji. Hannah Collins is waving. I wonder why you're waving, Hannah. And Joe McKenzie says hello. I'd say that's a pretty good start. So thanks, guys. Keep them coming in. And before we go back to those, let's bring you right up to speed with the ups and downs of the last week with a cow that will definitely say no to Paul Lambert. That's Wesley Moulahan. And fresh from his goal last night, Onel Hernandez. And this week's Norwich City headlines without any slides. Cherry's fairy tale continues. Eddie Howe's plucky minnows make it into the last 8 of the Carabao Cup by upsetting another proper club in the shape of Norwich City. Albeit, the Canaries only have themselves to blame for all those missed chances. City are still the bee's knees. Fortunately, City can still concentrate on the league, and in a good way. Their 7th win in 9 championship matches means City head into November, gulp, just 2 points off top spot. This is not a drill, people. Do not repeat last season's form jumping off a cliff. Even Judas had his reasons. Paul Lambert is the new Ipswich town boss. He's the first man to manage both clubs, and no doubt a few tractor boys won't be happy. He's rocked up at the Blues' second and in need of a career rebuild. His first game, hosting Alec Neil's Preston on Saturday. And to think he says it's all about the players and the fans. Not forgetting Matt Gill, of course, City's under-23 boss, is now Ipswich first-team coach. Double gulp. And finally, luckless Louis again. Poor Louis Thompson dislocated his shoulder within seconds of coming on last week. Now it's been confirmed he needs an operation and faces 3 months on the sidelines. As I said last week, maybe this is all paving the way for Louis to score the goal that sends Norwich up come next year. Get well soon, Louis, again. Beautifully done, Dave.
Showing off.
But you are showing off there. And of course, we should just say, all of us at the PinkUn send our condolences to those affected by the tragic events in Leicester at the weekend. So guys, let's start off with last night, shall we? Because it was most recent and fresh in our minds. So near, and yet so far.
All the chances, so many chances. That's what
You've been thinking about that one, haven't you?
I have been thinking about that one, yeah. I'm sticking this on my CV, by the way. Such a shame. They should have won. They really should have won. I mean, the chance at the end from Jordan Rhodes that was missed, I know everyone's talked about it a lot, and I don't think the guy would have slept after that. That was an awful miss. But, Srebeni hit the post, should have scored, but somehow hit the ball straight at the keeper's chest. Vrancic wide twice, passed that wide, Teti fired over, Tribal had a header blocked on the line, There was just chance after chance.
I think Hernandez hit the woodwork as well before he scored.
Yeah, Boric tipped it onto the post, didn't he? So, all those chances against it. All right, maybe a bit of a second-string Premier League team, but wow, what a chance to get a quarter-final missed, unfortunately.
And on the flip side of that, Bournemouth get one half chance in the first half from Ivo Pinto. I think it was basically beyond Dennis Srebeni at the time. Bit of gap, bit of space. Junior Stanislas lashes it in. Wonderful finish, and that's almost the other side of it, isn't it?
That was a great goal. The second goal, just how it got into. There were so many bodies in the way, weren't there?
Yeah.
And didn't it go? It went kind of via Paslak, I think.
Yeah, he didn't stop it on the line, did he? But the first one, where was Ivo Pinto?
It's
that
a
was
long way away.
a reminder of
line.
sort of where Evo is with things. You've got to wonder whether we'll see him in a Norwich shirt again, frankly. His contract's up at the end of the season. Will he move on in January? He just doesn't really seem to fit with how things are at the moment. So will we see him again?
It kind of symbolised how far the team has come since he was in the first team, didn't it? Because, I remember thinking he was a good player, and the Evo chant, obviously, is a great one and very easy to say. But he did seem to lose confidence last season. He stopped being able to cross the ball confidently.
He could cross the ball at some point.
At one point, I thought so. I'm trying to vaguely remember. Maybe it's rose-coloured specs. But yeah, he didn't look... And he just looked dreadful yesterday in comparison with the rest of the team. Paslak too, it just didn't seem to be up to the same standard.
I do wonder about Felix Paslak, whether Dortmund will look at it in January and go, you know what, he's not really playing, we'll cut this short. Which is strange because of the huge build-up he got when he joined.
That's essentially what happened with Hoffenheim, wasn't it? He joined them on a 2-year loan, barely played. They brought him back and sent him to Norwich. I think last night was probably the best I've seen of him so far, although he didn't play right back for most of the game, did he? And he did look hungry, but I still didn't come away from the game thinking, that guy's got to be near the first team anytime soon.
Flashes of wonderful stuff at Wickham too,
yeah.
But it's not consistent, is it? And there are too many mistakes, and you can see his head go down when he makes a mistake.
I think it's also harsh that he's come somewhere where Norwich have got several options and a real lack of homegrown players in terms of being able to afford to play Felix regularly.
If it was just Pinto, he'd be in the team, wouldn't he?
Probably would be. What about the other Fringe players now? It's going to be a bit of a debate, isn't it? Because, Tom Tribal, or Tribble, we're going to have to start pronouncing it properly, aren't we? Trouble, Screwball, Hubel, Trouble. Mario Vrancic, obviously Dennis as well, but there's players there who now, they're not going to have the opportunity necessarily unless things change in the Championship, which may well happen.
Well, Mario was awesome last night, frankly.
Fantastic.
The guy's really unlucky to not be in the starting lineup at the moment because he scored 2 winning goals in the league, isn't he? He missed pre-season with an injury, and since when he's come back, he has been very good. But last night, creator in chief, he really was. It was as good as Stiepermann has been. That was more of your classic number 10 sort of performance, wasn't he? He was so creative, and
he's got some of the same skills as Leitner, some of the same skills as Stiepermann, but maybe his speed of thought is better than both of those guys.
Yeah.
And so, he is inventive, and he's so much stronger on the ball than when we first saw him. I think we all knew that he maybe could be fantastic, and obviously Farke values him and rates him, and that had to be for a reason. But we certainly didn't see it last season. He wasn't used to the Championship, but yesterday it was a Premier League team, and he was just wonderful to watch.
Yeah, it was.
His composure on the ball is something Marco doesn't have, but Marco hasn't half covered a lot of ground in recent games.
But the same issue for maybe not so much for Leitner now, but it was an issue for him. But for Stiepermann too, is not scoring, not putting the chances away. And wonderful as Vrancic was, he had some chances yesterday, and he's had some chances himself. Obviously, he can score pens.
Yes, holy goodness! Thank goodness for that. If only we'd have got to see that last night. Hey, Brentford, of course, Norwich did win. I think they've won 7 of the last 9 Championship fixtures. So all in all, and we'll obviously talk about the games coming up, Norwich is still in a very good place in terms of their Championship League form, and I think we'll talk about that in a moment, actually. Let's have a go through some of your questions, shall we? Thanks for these. Keep them short, because Facebook's still doing the thing where it cuts them off and I can't see the entire message, which is very frustrating, so apologies in advance. But Mark Hilton, extremely encouraged by recent performances, looking forward to a great match and banishing the hoodoo of the Steel City on Saturday. More of that later. Lorne Smybert, I wish people would give Dennis a chance. He has not played for weeks, and to play like he did last night, he was unlucky, etc. Sorry, Lorne, can't read the rest.
I did the player watch on Dennis last night, so you can have a look at that. PinkUn.com. And he was in the thick of it. He certainly had a busy night, but as I said, the post, he was a bit unlucky, but the one where he went one-on-one just after they had scored, that had to be put away. And I think I still gave Dennis a 7 out of 10 last night, because there was plenty of good stuff, but as a striker, you're going to be judged on those two big moments,
and
aren't
he
you?
knew that was a key fixture for him, and it's going to be really difficult now. I think you pointed out in your piece today that there are no more cup matches before Christmas. If they want to get some pitch time, then they need to be in the team.
No one wants to play for the under-23s at the moment. Mel Bogan, exciting times. However, how will we fare after Brexit? I think we're going to save that question for another day, Mel, because we'll get stuck into that. And like most issues regarding Brexit, no one really knows. So we'll just see when we get there, I suppose. Unless things change. Let's not get into a political debate.
Everything will be brilliant.
Everything will be fine. It'll be just fine.
We've got a lot of homegrown players now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Hopefully, it depends what the rules are.
Taking back control.
Quick, move on. Quick, move on. Neil Cockerton, he says hello from Oz. We'll come and join you in Oz, Neil. I'm only joking. And David McKenzie, Mario Vrancic surely has to start in place of Stiepermann. We will get on to the team selections for Hillsborough towards the end of the show, David. And, of course, that's what we want from you. We want your ins and outs for Saturday. So get those in. Mark King has given us a wave. Thank you, Mark. Much appreciated. And Simon Meadows feeling really positive about how we are progressing as a team, as a squad, and as a club. Yellow heart, green heart. Love it, Simon. Okay. Norwich's League Cup interest is over for another season. That's a shame. Mr. Freezer, though, has kindly crunched some numbers. Here they are. Roll the VT, Sean. Well, there we go. Dave, you just pointed out, of course, the rest of the fourth round League Cup ties are this evening. We've got a Derby fan in, haven't we, did you say?
Yeah, with Lampard 8 on the back of his Derby shirt. So
Frank Lampard's Derby.
That shows you sort of how excited they are about having him, and he's doing pretty well so far, isn't he?
He's doing all right. He's a big game at Chelsea and whatever. Paul Lambert, though, in at Ipswich. I mean, I know that everyone has gone on about this a lot. Sean is an Ipswich fan. He's smiling at the moment, so he's obviously happy about it. Not all Ipswich fans are. Obviously, a lot has been said about this. Let's get it right. Norwich fans are interested because we've got a lot of stats that back up that they're interested in terms of coverage. Dye, Norwich, legendary manager, now the first person to manage both clubs. How do you feel about it? I
just think I'm actually not that bothered about it. I think he's got a real job on with those players. He's not going to be able to add to the squad, and but we know he can manage players from League One and League Two, essentially what we were when he took us over. So I'm more worried about Matty Gill. I'm not worried. Good luck to him, but he's done such a fantastic job, and we're reaping the joys of some of the players that he's worked with in the past. So that's disappointing, more disappointing for me. I mean, good luck to Paul, but I pretty much still think that Ipswich may well go down at the end of the season.
And we'll have a look at the Championship picture later. Sean's booing at that. Give reality check, Sean. Reality check. Gilly leaving. That is a tricky one, isn't it? And actually, in fairness to the under 23s, I mean, they lost 7-2, didn't they, the week before? I can't remember who they were playing.
Yeah, away to Stoke last
Away
week.
to Stoke and 4-0. You were there on Monday night against Fulham.
I was.
I won't go into exactly how you described that game when you came into work the next morning, but
It was just because of the weather as well. It was cold and it really sheeted down with rain. It was horrible. I felt sorry for the players. 4-0 down. Their managers just left, and horrible conditions to play football in. I mean, yeah, Matt Gill, top guy, played for the club. He was here as a youngster, local guy, obviously. A lot of time for him personally. Obviously interviewed him a lot and stuff over the years. And if you take out Ipswich and say Birmingham, Derby, Sheffield United, Matt Gill has gone there as first team coach, everyone would be like, oh, congratulations, Matt, brilliant. But because he's dared to cross the divide and he's gone to Ipswich and he's joined Paul Lambert, he has taken a bit of a risk. And I am concerned that it's a short-term move, because if it doesn't work out, then Matt will probably be out of a job there as well. But the big thing I think you've got to remember is financially, for a guy stepping up from being an under-23s boss to being a first-team coach is going to be a massive thing for him. So, I hope people aren't sort of laying into him too hard, but he knows full well that he was, taking a fairly brave step, and I think he has deleted his social media accounts as well, hasn't he, just to sort of keep away from all the fuss that would come with it. But I think Ipswich will have a better chance of surviving with Lambert there. As you were just saying, Di, Grant Holt was a League Two striker when he signed for Norwich. He'd just been playing brilliantly for Shrewsbury in League Two, hadn't he? So Lambert does know how to get the best out of lower league players who are hungry. Whether the Ipswich players are hungry or not is a different issue.
likewise, Owen Tudor-Jones was a League One player and struggled greatly. So it always depends on who you get in, doesn't it? Paul Lambert's first game, Ipswich boss, welcomes Alec Neil and Preston. You can make it up, really, could you? It's going to be Norwich all over that game. Ipswich fans are going to have to get used to it, Sean.
Is that a 3 o'clock kickoff?
Yeah.
That's a shame, because I would love to watch.
Sky only televised Villa and Leeds, so that's the way it goes.
True enough.
Any shine that Alex Neil may have lost in the end of his days at Norwich can quickly return on Saturday if he were to make sure Paul Lambert starts on a low note.
This is very true. Okay, let's have a few more of your messages, shall we? Warren Woodcock, he sent 3 laughing faces. Hope that's in a good way. Warren, we will win the league comfortably, he goes on to say. Love that. Love it. Steve Loynes, starting 11 on Saturday. We'll come on to that at the end of the show. Michael Linton, hi Di, keep up the good work. There you go, that's one from Michael, there we go. Jonathan Williams-Woods, just a quick one for you guys to answer. Who will score more this season, Jordan Rhodes or Teemu Pukki?
Ooh, Pukki.
Pukki.
Oh, Jordan, heart's still going out to him. And Simon Meadows, you're right, Dave Freezer. It would be great to see Mario Vrancic played more. He has done so well when he has played. And sorry, Simon, I can't read the rest of your message. Jason McDonald, similar run this time last year. One defeat derailed it. What is mental strength like this time? Jason, we'll come on to that point in a bit. Right. That's all that stuff. We would normally do flip the bird at this point, but you know what? We're going to give it a break. Both of these two have already had a go this season, and you're not going to get a second chance. Not at this stage. Wait until after Christmas. Yeah, too good. Yeah, wait until after Christmas. But instead, we'll have a quick chat with these guys. And
has everyone switched off now?
Yeah, they're just dropping off now, Dave. Yeah. All right, no, they might be waiting for you actually. Di, Proud Canaries are doing some great work. I'd like to know how that's going, and of course we can plug the old Rainbow Laces as well if you want, but I did want to talk to you about the atmosphere at Carrow Road as well and how you found it this season, because we've had a few of the supporters groups in, and it does seem to be that there's progress, and I know the along-come Norwich guys are really happy with what they're doing with the flags and these sort of things. If it was to fill the whole stand at the Barclay, I think that would look fantastic.
Yeah, I mean there have been some brilliant images that Paul Chesterton and some of the other Archer guys have captured of the flags, particularly for the Brentford game. They've been building up to that. And
Pete Raven was waving one of the flags at one point. So
yeah, and if people nick them, then please can they bring them back?
I don't think Pete nicked one. I don't think he nicked one. I
I
don't want
wasn't
to.
accusing Pete. I wasn't.
You probably
never know with
could.
Pete.
Yeah. If we see him with a massive flag, we'll let you know.
No, it's quite a big deal to get them into the ground because they would be illegal to bring in normally. So they need to stay in the ground really. But just contact Along Come Norwich if you've got one by accident. But yeah, and them and
accident.
Barclay End Project have done fantastic work. They did the fundraising to get the flags, and they're really working on the atmosphere, and it's fantastic to see. So, and a lot of people are saying, can we expand that from beyond the right-hand side of the Lower Barclay and get it all around the stadium? People in other stands, amazingly, are interested in doing stuff as well. The singing, it's been much reported how extraordinary the reaction was after the Stoke loss to hear fans singing and behind the team, and obviously that's gone down really well with Daniel Farker and really well with Stuart Webber and with the players, and it's gonna have an effect.
There is no way any game last season that would have happened.
It happened against Villa as well. They were behind to Villa, weren't they? And the reaction at half time was brilliant.
Yeah.
And talk us through the rainbow laces then. We're getting to this time of the year, aren't we?
Do this every year, a new lace up, and so pair for you.
Thank you very much.
Well,
I wanted some of them.
Rainbow laces, if people don't know, it's usually towards the end of November, and it will be one of the Norwich City matches towards the end of November. And it's a show of solidarity with the LGBT community from footballers, and they don't have to wear them, and a lot of football boots don't even have laces these days, so some people can't wear them.
They sort of slip on boots.
They slip on boots. Oh. Yeah.
I'd have probably worn those and been not good enough to carry them off.
Although we've got Alex Tetty wearing PinkUn boots at the moment.
Oh, salmon pink.
Definitely officially PinkUn boots.
So watch out for that, and Aviva staff and Proud Canaries fans are going to be handing them out at Carrow Road towards the end of November, so look out for them. Get your own pair.
Brilliant. Keep an eye out for that date around Carrow Road. Dave, should we give your column a plug? I reckon that's what we should do.
Yeah, I suppose I've sort of been doing columns for quite a long while, haven't I? But I've now got from the start of this season, I've had a regular Saturday column, so that's been quite a nice thing to have as somebody that used to deliver the EDP and Evening News as a teenager, in Worcester in the cold months of winter in the barren roads on a bike delivering to 3 houses down a long road, etc. So the hard day.
Yours was far tougher than mine. Mine around Spixworth, it was like a house on every.
As my mates would say, hard paper round is very clear. But so from that point of view, it's nice to have a column in the PinkUn every Saturday, and I'm sure that'll take a little while to sort of find its niche, as it were, because there's so much in the sort of the Norwich City community that is positive and is worth a read. There are so many fan websites around nowadays, and I think whatever your taste, there's a little bit for everyone nowadays, aren't there? I don't read everything that's out there because there's some that aren't to my taste and some that are, but I feel like that is a community, and that goes along with the whole flag thing. I mean, it all comes down to winning at the end of the day. If the team are doing well, they've won 7 out of 9 in the league, that is where the atmosphere comes from, that's why everyone does it. But if those flags and all that organisation is there, then when things are going well and those flags are being waved, and you can have a little bit of what it's like to be a Borussia Dortmund fan, if they could ever get the whole Lower Barclay full of flags, that would look awesome because of the yellow. But it feels like the Norwich City community is in a good place at the moment.
It does.
And coming, we did it again last night actually without flags, but there was good vocal support last night. Coming back from 1-0 down, 3 times
again?
in a row now, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the thing. You want the players and the fans together, pulling in the same direction. It's almost sound like Paul Lambert. And of course, Daniel Farker even got a rendition of "Happy Birthday," didn't he, last night? Lucky old Daniels. Sadly, didn't get any cup progress as a present, but never mind. So let's have a couple more here, shall we? Michael Linton back on. Hi, Di. Who is your least favourite player in the regular current 11 and why?
Oh, that's what a horrible question. That's so divisive.
A good one.
That's so divisive. My least favourite.
Least favourite. So
in the current 11?
Yeah.
So you can't say Oliveira?
So, no.
Who frustrates me the most? Do you know what? No, I can't really say. But I suppose Krul is frustrating me a little bit at the moment because everyone's saying it's brilliant. Krul's fantastic, and he is so much better than at the start. But there was a really annoying volleyball. It's a set, isn't it, in volleyball?
Yeah, sounds right.
Out to the box in general during the Brentford match. And it's just like, you can't do this, surely. All goalkeepers know to try and get it to the side, or really lob it out there. So that's a bit frustrating. But I don't hate Tim Krul, and I think he should stay in the team. But I think we're going to see him get better.
He's just not quite earned your love yet.
No.
Not quite.
Not quite. He's getting there.
To be honest,
Yeah.
he's a top man. I still think he's got a bit to do to prove where he's at. Personally, I think he's got much better protection at the moment, but I think there will be bigger tests to come. Absolutely. Okay, let's get through some more of those later. In the meantime, let's give you our Norwich City notice board, where we flag up the weird, wacky, wonderful, and in some cases actually important bits and pieces you may want to know about regarding the Canaries. First up, ready there, Sean? Norwich City's Community Sports Foundation are hosting a community open day at The Nest on Saturday, November the 24th, where there will be a tour of the facilities. You can meet the team working on the new community hub near Horsford and, ready, enjoy free refreshments. So for more details, search CSF or Community Sports Foundation on the interweb. And of course, they're still raising money, the CSF, for their Build the Nest project. Lots of big plans there, and it'll be a fantastic facility if they can get the money together and turn it all around. And secondly, a big thank you to Hannah Collins. Wait for this, Sean, we'll put it in a minute, who noticed my rather childish need for Daniel Farker to have his own chant to the tune of Baby Sharker. So here is, completely unprovoked, probably the best word, is what she sent me earlier today.
Daniel Fark, he's one of us, he's one of us, he's one of us, he's one of us. He hates Ipswich, he hates Ipswich, he hates Ipswich, he hates Ipswich.
Outstanding work. The words were Daniel Farker, Daniel. He's one of us, and then he hates Ipswich, I think. Sean's nodding. Thanks, Sean. So well done, girls. Brilliant work. A long career of chanting on the terraces, no doubt, awaits. If we get that one going in the Barclay, I would be delighted, but also probably quite bemused because it shouldn't probably happen. If there's any tweets, stories, events or groups of a Canaries nature that you want to flag up here on the PinkUn Show, then let us know via all the usual social media channels, or you can send us an email to thepinkun@archant.co.uk.
Just on the subject of chants, you wanted one about Daniel Farker. I can't remember which match it was, but I heard somebody singing something Marco Stiepermann to the tune of Son of a Preacher Man.
I mean, I love that. That scanned fantastically well.
Yeah, I can't. What would the words be? Something like he plays left back for Norwich City, he plays midfield for Norwich City, he plays anywhere for Norwich City. Son of a preacher. He's Marco Stiepermann. I don't know.
Marco Stiepermann.
Yeah, I mean, if Hannah feels motivated to do to the tune of Son of a Preacher Man, that would be great.
We also had Emi Buendia to the tune of Copacabana. Emi Buendia. So that was good. The words are all on Twitter. You can search these things out. And in fairness, I did put the tweets out saying, "Oh, Daniel's not really getting his chance." But, all the Germans, that is effectively a Daniel Farker chant. And, there were people coming back saying that his name is being included in some of the more generic chants as well. It's just a thing, and I think it would indicate Norwich going in the right direction if he picks up that kind of reputation with the fans. But, of course, that's how it should work, isn't it? So, with the Carabao Cup done, we must focus all the more on the Championship. So here is the picture as it stands heading into the weekend, and it's all there for you guys. Villa lost again, while Birmingham's form is doing a great job of minimising the effect of what may well be an impending points deduction. Ipswich hit new depths despite Paul Lambert watching from the stands and trying to look inconspicuous as he did. Maybe he should have made more of a point of him actually being there. And Leeds salvaged a draw thanks to a handball goal. Lambert joins Ipswich with them 3 points adrift at the bottom, and Preston their next visitors. Sheffield Wednesday are in freefall, with Brentford and Villa not faring much better. But the picture is far more rosy for Norwich, 4 points clear of 7th, and only 2 points behind leaders Sheffield United. And 15 games in, Norwich have already played every other side in the top 7, with Swansea the only side they are yet to face in the top 10. As for this weekend, City head to Hillsborough. It starts on Friday with Villa on the telly again, this time with Bolton the visitors. Big game that, obviously. Whatever. Informed Birmingham face Frank Lampard's derby after his Chelsea reunion, while the leaders head to the City ground. It's an ex-City manager's derby at Portman Road. Stoke Middlesbrough is the late kickoff, while Wigan host Leeds, who are also on the telly again on Sunday.
Villa are on the telly again.
Villa on the telly again,
That's
as
ridiculous.
are Leeds. Again, literally those two are always on the telly. Big clubs, big fan bases. Good for you, Sky. It will be fun to document their. It will be fun to document their bang average seasons, or maybe not. Expectations now then for Norwich City. 15 games in. You look at the table. What are you thinking? How much are you dreaming, Di?
Well, I don't know if you remember this, Michael, but I did say
Probably not.
on the first PinkUn Show of the season that I was really optimistic, and I mentioned Buendia and I mentioned Hernandez, and so I'm obviously going to stand by that because we didn't even, Cantwell wasn't even in our
Or Aaron's.
awareness. Not certainly not. No. I'm really confident. I know things can change very dramatically, and they have before in November. But I think that the bond between the players and the team spirit, as well as the clear impact that Farke is having in terms of managing. He was trying stuff out last year, it wasn't quite working. He's really worked on those guys, and we saw it kind of physically when Cantwell played in the friendly and then in the Stevenage Cup game, when he was having a kind of row with Farke on the sidelines. Yeah. And Farke was telling him that, no, you are going to do this. You're going to, and lo and behold, Cantwell's doing it. It's not just because of Farke, but it's a combination of player skills and management. And I just think that seems to be happening. If it takes a whole season every time we get some new personnel, then that's obviously not a good thing. But things seem to certainly be working with the guys that are there. And to an extent, you can say from last night, also the guys who are in the squad who are slotting in. So it's good news, I think.
I think Frank Lampard's currently getting booed by Stamford Bridge, isn't he? There's on the flip side of Norwich, Dave, there's no one really to fear, is there, from what I've seen? Leeds were obviously very good. Villa were very good, but they lost to Norwich and then went and lost to QPR as well. So, and Norwich have played, theoretically, 8 of the other 9 sides in the top 10. So, and I do think Swansea are a good side this year, but other than that,
to have a 4-point gap to 7th place after 15 games, most Norwich fans would have snapped your hand off for that if it was offered at the start of the season. But it is still an incredibly tight division. They are, although they're 4 points clear of Forest in 7th, they're 7 points clear of Wigan in 14th. So it wouldn't take much for it to tail off, as we saw last year. I predicted 10th this year, and I just said that I hoped that they would be more in the top 6 mix for the majority of the season. So what we've seen so far, very much capable of being a playoff contender. What I think could well decide things now is January. Your likes of Leeds, West Brom, Swansea, Forest, Derby, there's more. They could all strengthen, couldn't they? They've all got much more money than Norwich at the moment, whereas Norwich in January, frankly, are probably going to be looking to sell a Jamal Lewis or a Max Aarons and hopefully loan them back, something along those lines. I'm not saying that specifically, just as an example. So I think we probably need to assess where things are in January and go from there. But the progress has been really encouraging. Daniel Farke is 100% the boss at Norwich, and that contract extension hopefully isn't going to be too far away, because the way things are bubbling away under him, I think everyone is happy with the direction things are going. Frankly, I think with the ability they've got in the team, they have got another gear to go yet as well. What they've done so far is they've realised that they have to kick and scrap and fight for every point that you get in this division, and if more confidence flows into this team, the technical ability is there. So who knows, maybe they will be able to surprise and and get a playoff place. But
And in a way, we've already talked about a potential new ingredient, because you and I are both going to come onto our team at some point, but we both have shoehorned in Mario Vrancic, who hasn't started this season. And so how exciting to have such a fantastic player who's only been on the sidelines so far, isn't it?
Hanley, McLean, Marshall.
McLean. We haven't seen it all. Yeah, that's right.
It's very exciting. Right, two really quick ones. Who will finish lower, Ipswich or Preston? Norwich. Yeah, whatever, Sean. See you later. Where's Dan when you need him?
Ipswich. Yeah.
I think Ipswich as well, because Alex Neil will get enough out of that Preston team to stay up, I would have thought.
Okay, and have you got a dark horse in the Championship this year? Or a good side?
I think I'd need to check on this, but I think I predicted Blackburn would go 6. I thought they were going to be the team coming up with that momentum from League One. Things seem to have clicked into place under Tony Mowbray there, and they're very happy with how things are going. So
he's a good manager, isn't he, Tony?
Yeah. He's got
even though he was at Ipswich. Yes, I mean they're already not dark horses anymore, but Birmingham have really turned it around, haven't
they
we?
are doing well. Fair play to Gary Monk.
Yes.
What a job.
He's done more than I was expecting to, most definitely. Right, let's get some of your messages in, shall we? David Whitby, Hernandez to remain in the side now after his goal last night. We'll come on to the sides, we'll talk about that in a moment. Warren Woodcock, we are the Wolves of the Championship. He is persistent. They're going up, win the title, Wolves of the Championship. Anything's possible, that's what I'm going to say.
Didn't Wolves spend 50 million to get
They did, yeah. That's just cheating, isn't it? St John Cooper, it's just a job for Lambert, no issue there. Neil Austin, great praise from Eddie Howe last night. In fairness, he said Norwich will take some stopping in the Championship on the basis of last night, which was basically 8 changes from their Championship 11, so there we go. Simon Meadows, in time, will Grant Holt be the under-23s coach? If I was a betting man, I reckon this will happen. I guess his replacement, Matty Gill, will be a bone of contention. We'll see.
He's too busy playing for Horsford at the moment, isn't he? Horsford / Wrexham and wrestling. I mean, his role at the club is only 1 day a week at the moment, isn't it? So that would be a big step up. I would have thought it's most likely that David Wright will end up stepping up, at least until the end of the season, and then they'll reevaluate from there.
St John Cooper again, we exceeded all my expectations so far this season, but need another striker in January for a final push, which would mean someone would have to leave. Jonathan William Woods, so far, who's the biggest shout for player of the season? Just give us a name.
Hernandez.
Closer.
Tim Closer, what a shout. Love that. And let's have another one. Mel Bogan says, I think I've missed his point, which is probably quite likely. Come April, many of our current squad will need work permits. Oh, come April. Oh, yeah, okay. This is the Brexit question. I'm sure they'll find a way of not decimating Norwich's team come April.
Think how much football is worth to the government. It is hundreds of millions, if not billions, in tax. As Norwich's accounts showed last week, there is no chance that football will be negatively affected by Brexit.
Mel Bogan says the BBC News Tonight was suggesting so.
They just won't. They'll smooth it over, won't they? No chance.
We will see. A lot in the air. It's going to be a big discussion, and obviously beyond football. And Martin Harvey, great to hear optimism. Double thumbs up. Dan Smith. It's Dan, cameraman Dan, Sean. He's booing Ipswich, as he normally does, watching from a bar in Edinburgh, secretly wishing I was in the Woolly. I don't believe that for a moment, then. But there we go. And Harvey Monk, we are the Black Horses. Yes, Harvey.
Ooh.
Great work.
Like
well
it.
Said. Still off the radar. This is a good show. I'm enjoying it. Right. Shouldn't do that on a show, should he? Highly unprofessional. I'm just enjoying myself. And very tired. I don't even know what day of the week it is. So, Hillsborough and November. They are the two things now. Good news here. City have not won away in November since 2008. Thanks to, I've forgotten which Twitter account it was. Mr. Saunders, caption Canaries on Twitter. He gave us that one earlier. So Norwich have not win away from home in November since 2008. Also, they've not won at Sheffield Wednesday since 2001, and they've lost their last 2 appearances there, 5-1. I mean, also in terms of the wider context and what happened last year, the moment they got knocked out of the Carabao Cup, how important is Saturday for Norwich psychologically, Dave?
Massive. I think they will travel there with a real bee in their bonnet after Tuesday night. They will be really quite annoyed with themselves, I think, that they're not talking about a League Cup quarter-final. Daniel Farke will certainly want to put the last day of last season right, because that was an atrocious performance, and of course it was overshadowed by James Maddison limping off. I mean, I honestly thought that was 25 million up in the air in that moment. I was Rob Butler from Radio Norfolk came over to me about an hour after the game and was like, "You all right, mate?" I was like, "No." I think we might have just seen a major moment in Norwich City history, but thankfully he was fit enough to be sold, wasn't he? Weirdly. But yeah, I mean, I've only been to Hillsborough 3 times, I think, in my life, and they've conceded at least 4 every time. Thankfully, I can't go on Saturday because I've got a family party Saturday night. It's my brother-in-law's 40th, thankfully, so I'm going to miss it.
What are you going to say then?
I think I'm going to miss a victory.
Oh, Dave. Oh, I hope you're right. And it's also interesting that Sheffield Wednesday, I think, have got the Sheffield Derby on the following Friday, which happened last year as well. I think that the Sheffield Derby was in or around when Norwich played them. But what do you reckon, Di? Are you going to be going to Hillsborough?
I am going to go to Hillsborough. I have to go to Hillsborough because I went to Russia, the World Cup, with the England LGBT fan group, Three Lions Pride, and a guy who helped me put up the banner at the Luzhniki was Tango from Sheffield Wednesday.
Oh.
Yeah. So I haven't met Tango at Hillsborough, so I'm going to do that.
Oh, good. Enjoy the football as well.
So yeah, no, we're playing really well away from home. Haven't we won more away games than home games? Something like that. So I am always optimistic, you know. So I'm optimistic, and also I think some of the other teams at the top, Leeds are still coasting on some of their earlier victories, aren't they? That's why. I mean, they've only had a few draws recently, haven't they?
Norwich got above them, didn't they, the other day?
Yeah, and they were 7 points, 14 points behind them.
Did they draw with the handball?
Yeah, they did draw with the handball.
So, you know, and some of the other top teams not doing so well. So it's going to be good.
And Derby are behind.
I'm sorry to be distracted, but Chelsea loanee Tamori has just scored an own goal against Chelsea.
Really?
Conspiracy theorists unite.
Yeah, we're not obviously going to make any libelous comments at this point. So let's have a look at who these guys would play. Just before that, Neil Austin says Morris Leitner for Player of the Season at this point, obviously, and St John Cooper. We will win on Saturday, and we really will have shown grit. Sorry, good job I didn't get that the wrong way around. Although he's saying 1-1. So I'm a bit confused, but there we go. Right, so let's have a look at the 11s. Who's first, shall we do? Sean, can you see? Di, let's have a look at your 11 first. Talk us through it.
Okay, well, it's really difficult to leave somebody out to get Vrancic in. What I was thinking was Sheffield Wednesday have had a few tonkings recently, had a couple of 3-0s against them and 3 losses on the trot. So I wanted to be quite positive and kind of get lots of folks in the midfield because I think they'll be defending against the flanks, and which is what we often do. So I've dropped Max Aarons, which I can't quite believe. So I've got 3 at the back and Tetty in front of them. Then Leitner and Vrancic in midfield. Hernandez and Buendia on the wings, and Steepman just behind Pookie.
Fair to say that Wednesday won't be expecting that, but I love it. Why not?
There's a lot of creativity. Yeah, I'm also conscious that we're not scoring that many goals, and so yeah, Max. I've sacrificed Max.
It's almost, you could look at it as a 3-4-3 diamond almost, couldn't you? And I would love to see Vrancic, Leitner, Steepman playing together with these 2 here.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be quite sexy football potentially.
Sexy, Freezer's excited.
Sexy, total sexy football.
Total sexy football. Dave, let's have a look at your 11 now. Probably slight caveat, because it had been a bit of a nuts hour before we came on, because we were trying to work out if Christoph Zimmermann was actually suspended for picking up his 5th booking in the game last night, but he's not, is he? We think at the moment, yeah. I was doing a bit of post-match admin and thought, hang on, Christoph Zimmermann's got 5 yellow cards, and any previous season that means he's banned for despite it being a League Cup game. So check the FA's website. They've got a sort of suspensions portal, don't they, which is normally totally reliable. Christoph Zimmermann's on there. Oh, right, he's banned for a game, misses Sheffield Wednesday. Do the story, and then very quickly get a bit of feedback saying, hang on, rules have changed. So we've parked that for the minute. Christoph Zimmermann, as far as we're concerned, is available for Saturday, but we're going to check it with the FA because apparently they've changed the rules so that cards are applied to specific competitions from the start of this season. So
3 of his yellow cards have been in the league. So basically, he hasn't reached 5 in the league. So I would have Zimmerman in ahead of Godfrey in my lineup if he is available, which we now think he probably will be. But we will check it out. Otherwise, Vrancic, I mean, Steephen's got tonsillitis. So tonsillitis is a pretty grim thing to have, isn't it?
Well,
so yeah, I mean,
Cantwell's got his hamstring injury.
Cantwell
comes back into mind.
yeah.
I mean, there's a slight homegrown issue, I suppose, that Norwich are going to have to be careful of. I know that's been the case all year, but...
Yeah, Ben Marshall's certainly going to be needed on the bench, but they may need a young lad to balance it out. Whoever that would be, I doubt they would play, but it would be a good experience for them. But yeah, it's going to be walking that tightrope, which they are most of the time. But
because Cantwell has got a hamstring injury, that's why he's not in either
Daniel
of them.
said he was 99% unlikely to play Saturday, and that was talking on Monday. But for me, Pukki comes back in ahead of Shrabeni, obviously with Rhodes being unavailable, and I thought Hernandez should have started against Brentford instead of Cantwell. I know it's not a very popular decision at the moment, but
he looks just so exciting.
I love Todd, don't get me wrong, but I'm
sorry.
Is that Mason Mount?
Derby have just equalised through their other lone player.
No, I'm not sure. It might be Jack Marriott, actually. No, it's Jack Marriott. I think that would have been a story, wouldn't it?
What's that? We haven't got this graphic. All right, thanks, Sean. Okay, well, there we go.
Do you want me to actually show what it was?
Yeah, there you go. That one there. There we go. Oh, well, I mean, but basically, it's Vrancic in for Stiepermann, and we were having a discussion over Godfrey.
It is really interesting to discuss Hernandez and Cantwell's comparative benefits. Hernandez does score, and again, Cantwell's just brilliant in midfield, but I don't think he's come close to scoring. I don't think he's even hit the woodwork. They need to practice pens, they need to practice finishing, don't they?
When he gets that goal, it'll all click into place, because that's how football works.
He's got some serious talent, Todd.
And he knows it. So, Sheffield Wednesday, key man and predictions. Let's go through it quite quickly. Di, your key man and your prediction for Saturday at Hillsborough.
Key man Hernandez. No, Vrancic.
There's too many key men.
And 2-0 Norwich, or 0-2.
2-0 Norwich. Dave, you've already said it's going to be a win.
Yeah, I'll say Leitner. I think Leitner's the most important player in the team at the moment, and I will say 2-1 Norwich.
2-1 Norwich. What a great day it's going to be. Can't wait. That is it from us for tonight. Remember, you can catch the show and all our superb Norwich City coverage on the PinkUn Facebook page and YouTube channels. But, of course, first and foremost, PinkUn.com. I'll be at Hillsborough on Saturday alongside Paddy Davitt. And without Dave, we'll miss you, Dave. So make sure you keep tabs on PinkUn.com for all our build-up team news, live coverage, reaction and analysis. And if you see us around, please say hello. We'll be back again next Wednesday evening, live from 7 p.m. here at the Woolpack on Golden Ball Street in the centre of Norwich for another PinkUn Show with all the usual fun and games. So please join us then, be it in the flesh or online. And remember, if you want us to come to your local, be it pub, cafe, chilling room, living room, or if you want to be one of our fan pundits, simply send an email to thepinkun@archant.co.uk and we will do the rest. In the meantime, it is a big thank you to our guests tonight, to Di and to Dave. Thanks, guys. Much appreciated. To the Woolpack, as always, to the crew, which is Sean tonight. Well done, Sean. Top work. He's putting his arms up. Good luck on Saturday at Portman Road. You need it. And, of course, to you guys for watching and getting involved. We will see you again next week. Until then, here's to some rewriting of Norwich City trends over the weekend. Then maybe a few more of us will start to dream that little bit bigger. Good night.